The Discovery, the research vessel, Quantum Dawn, drifted silently through the void between dying stars. Commander Zaranine stood before the main viewing portal, her forearms moving in precise patterns as she reviewed the sensor data. Her exoskeleton reflected the pale light of distant nebulae, and her compound eyes tracked multiple data streams simultaneously. "Commander," came the melodic voice of Dr. Quintel from behind her. The Nexary appeared as a shimmering cloud of blue energy contained within a crystalline housing. Long-range sensors have detected an anomaly on the third planet of the Kepler 442. System Zaranine turned all four of her arms toward the datapad that materialized in front of her. The readings were unusual indeed. The planet showed no signs of life, its atmosphere long since stripped away by solar radiation, but buried beneath the surface. Their instruments detected artificial structures that predated most known galactic civilizations. "How old are these readings suggesting?" Zaranine clicked in her native language, which the universal translator rendered into common galactic speech. "Preliminary analysis indicates approximately 12,000 standard years," Dr. Quintel replied, his energy form pulsing with excitement. This would place the construction during the Great Silence period. The Great Silence was a mysterious era in galactic history when several advanced species had simply vanished from all records. Most scholars believed these civilizations had destroyed themselves through warfare or environmental collapse. Finding intact ruins from that period would be the discovery of a lifetime. Scout Threx emerged from the tactical station, his scaled hide bearing the ritual scars of his warrior caste. The Corvani was built for combat, standing nearly 3 meters tall with powerful limbs and razor-sharp claws. But despite his fearsome appearance, Threx possessed one of the sharpest analytical minds in the archaeological corps. "Commander, I advise caution," Threx rumbled in his deep voice. "The energy signatures are unlike anything in our databases. Whatever species built these structures possessed technology far beyond current galactic standards." Zaranine considered this warning carefully. The Valkyrian species had evolved from hive insects and retained their ancestors' careful approach to unknown situations. Every decision was weighed against potential risks to the greater collective. "Dr. Quintel, what can you tell us about the planet's current condition?" she asked. The Nexary's form brightened as he accessed the ship's sensors. "Surface gravity is 1.2 standard. No atmosphere to speak of, though there are traces of ancient terraforming attempts. Most interesting are the underground chambers. They appear to be perfectly preserved, suggesting advanced environmental controls. Any signs of current activity? None that our instruments can detect. However, given the age and sophistication of the technology, it's possible their systems operate on principles we don't understand." Zaranine made her decision with the methodical precision of her species. "We'll establish orbit and conduct a full sensor sweep. If the initial investigation proves safe, we'll send down an exploration team." 3 hours later, the Quantum Dawn had taken position above the mysterious planet. The world below appeared barren and lifeless, its surface scarred by ancient impact, craters and erosion patterns. But their deep penetration scanners revealed an extensive network of tunnels and chambers that stretched for hundreds of kilometers beneath the surface. Commander Threx reported from his station, "I'm detecting multiple access points on the surface. They appear to be concealed, but our scanners can penetrate the camouflage." Camouflage? Zaranine's antenna twitched with interest. Active or passive? Passive, but extremely sophisticated. The entrance points are designed to blend perfectly with the natural rock formations. Without our advanced sensors, they would be completely invisible. Dr. Quintel's energy form flickered with excitement. This suggests the builders were concerned about concealment. Perhaps they were hiding from something. Or someone, Threx added grimly. The initial probe deployment went smoothly. The small robotic explorers descended through the planet's thin atmosphere and located the nearest access point. The entrance appeared to be a natural cave formation. But as the probes approached, hidden mechanisms activated and a seamless doorway opened in the rock face. Remarkable, Dr. Quintel whispered. The door mechanism shows no signs of age or wear. After 12,000 years, it operates as if it were built yesterday. The probes entered a vast underground complex that defied all expectations. The corridors were built to accommodate humanoid beings roughly 2 meters in height, with clean lines and functional aesthetics that spoke of advanced engineering principles. Soft lighting activated as the probes moved through the facility, suggesting sophisticated sensor networks that were still operational. "Commander, you need to see this," Threx called out urgently. On the main display, images from the probe revealed a massive central chamber filled with cylindrical containers arranged in perfect rows. Each container was roughly the size and shape to hold a single humanoid being, and soft lights pulsed rhythmically from within each one. "Are those," Zaranine began. "Storage units," Dr. Quintel confirmed. "But I'm detecting no life signs. Whatever was stored in them is long gone." The probes continued deeper into the facility, revealing laboratories, living quarters, and what appeared to be command centers. Everything was preserved in perfect condition, as if the inhabitants had simply walked away moments ago rather than millennia. In one of the command centers, the probe discovered something that made all 3 researchers freeze in shock. The walls were covered with star charts showing the current galactic configuration, complete with the locations of every major civilization in known space. "That's impossible," Threx growled. "These charts show stellar positions that weren't achieved until 3,000 years ago. How could builders from 12,000 years ago know where our stars would be? Unless," Dr. Quintel said slowly, "they weren't built 12,000 years ago. The materials might be that old, but the facility itself could have been maintained and updated." Before anyone could respond to this disturbing possibility, alarms began sounding throughout the research vessel. On the main display, new energy readings were spiking from the planet's surface. "Commander," the ship's AI announced in its calm, synthetic voice, "the probe network has triggered some kind of automated system. I'm detecting massive power surges throughout the underground complex." As they watched in fascination and growing alarm, the facility below began coming to life. Lights activated in chambers that had been dark for millennia, and their sensors detected the movement of mechanical systems throughout the complex. "Recall the probes immediately," Zaranine ordered. "I'm trying, Commander, but something is interfering with our signals. The probes are not responding to recall commands." On the display screens, they watched as their expensive exploration robots were gently but firmly captured by mechanical arms that emerged from the walls. The probes were not damaged, but they were clearly no longer under the research teams. "Control, we should leave," Threx said flatly. "Whatever this place is, we've awakened something that was meant to stay asleep." But Dr. Quintel's scientific curiosity overrode his caution. "Wait, look at this." The main probe, before being captured, had transmitted one final burst of data. In the central command chamber, a holographic display had activated, showing a 3-dimensional map of local space. But this wasn't just any map. It showed the exact position of their research vessel highlighted in pulsing red. "They know we're here," Zaranine said quietly, as if responding to her words. A new signal appeared on their communication array. It was a tight beam transmission originating from the planet's surface, encoded in a format that their computers recognized but couldn't quite place. "It's an old standard," the ship's AI reported. "Pre-Galactic Federation protocols. I can decode it, but the language appears to be from a species not in our databases." "Display the translation," Zaranine commanded. Text appeared on the main screen. Rendered in common galactic script. "Greetings, visitors from the stars. We are the ones you call human. Do not be afraid. We have been waiting for you. Asterisk." The three researchers exchanged shocked glances. Humans were legendary figures in galactic folklore, a species of warriors and explorers who had supposedly vanished during the Great Silence. Most scientists believed they had never existed at all, that the stories were simply myths created to explain the mysterious ruins and artifacts found throughout the galaxy. "This is impossible," Threx said. "Humans are legends. Stories told to frighten children." The communication system activated again, and this time the message was accompanied by a holographic image that appeared in the center of their bridge. The figure was clearly humanoid, but unlike any species in the galactic database. It had pale skin, hair the color of golden metal, and eyes the blue of deep water. Most disturbing of all, it wore what appeared to be a military uniform of unknown design. When the figure spoke, its words were perfectly translated into their respective languages. Commander Zaranine of the Valkyrian Archaeological Corps, Dr. Quintel of the Nexari Science Collective, and Scout Threx of the Corvani Warrior Academy. "Welcome to Outpost Sigma 7. My name is Captain Alina Vasquez, and I have been waiting a very long time to speak with you." The three researchers stared at the hologram in stunned silence. Not only was this legendary human very real, but she knew exactly who they were and why they were there. The implications were staggering and terrifying. "How do you know our names?" Zaranine managed to ask. Captain Vasquez smiled, and there was something in that expression that sent chills through all three researchers. It was the smile of a predator who had been patiently waiting for prey to walk into its carefully prepared trap. "We know many things about your civilizations," she replied. "We have been watching you for a very long time. All of you. Every species, every world, every ship that travels between the stars. We see everything." Dr. Quintel's energy form flickered with anxiety. "That's impossible. Our sensor networks would have detected surveillance on that scale, would they?" Captain Vasquez asked. "Tell me, Dr. Quintel, when your people first achieved faster-than-light travel, did you not find convenient deposits of rare elements exactly where you needed them? When your exploration fleets encountered dangerous spatial anomalies, did rescue ships not arrive with suspicious timing? When diseases threatened your colonies, did the cures not come from unexpected sources?" The Nexari scientist's form dimmed as he processed this information. Everything the human described had indeed happened throughout galactic history. The convenient discoveries, the timely rescues, the mysterious benefactors who helped struggling civilizations overcome their greatest challenges. "You're saying humans have been secretly helping galactic civilization for thousands of years?" Zaranine asked. "Helping, guiding, protecting." Captain Vasquez's expression grew serious. "Your species were young when we first encountered you, brilliant, and full of potential, but fragile. The galaxy is a dangerous place, full of threats that could have destroyed you before you had the chance to grow." Threx's combat instincts were screaming warnings at him. "And what did you want in return for?" This protection? Nothing, Captain Vasquez replied simply. We asked for nothing because we took nothing. We simply ensured that the younger species of the galaxy had the chance to develop and flourish without interference. The hologram gestured, and new images appeared around the bridge of the quantum dawn. They showed scenes from across the galaxy. Human ships, disguised as asteroids, monitoring trade routes. Human agents, living secretly among other species. Human technology secretly maintaining critical infrastructure on 100 different worlds. This is why you withdrew from galactic contact, Dr. Quintel realized. You became so advanced that open interaction would have stunted our development. Partially correct, Captain Vasquez acknowledged. But there was another reason. We discovered that our very presence changed how other species behaved. When humans were known quantities in galactic politics, wars were fought to gain our favor. Species that might have worked together instead competed for our attention. Our existence was creating the very conflicts we sought to prevent. Zaranine felt a chill run through her exoskeleton. So you chose to become myths, legends, stories that other species half believed but couldn't prove. It was the kindest option, Captain Vasquez said. Better to be remembered as legends than to be feared as overlords. The word feared hung in the air like a physical presence. Despite the humans' gentle manner and reasonable words, there was something about her that triggered deep survival instincts in all three researchers. This was a being of immense power, trying very hard to appear harmless. Captain Vasquez Threx said carefully, "You said you've been waiting to speak with us. Why now? What has changed?" The human's expression grew grave, and for the first time, the three researchers saw something like worry in her alien features. Because, Scout Threx, the time of watching from the shadows is coming to an end. There are threats approaching this galaxy that even we cannot handle alone. Soon, very soon, humanity will need to step out of legend and back into reality. She paused, and her next words sent ice through their veins. And we are going to need your help, the truth. Revealed the silence on the bridge of the quantum dawn stretched for what felt like an eternity. Captain Vasquez's words echoed in the minds of the three researchers as they struggled to process the magnitude of what they had learned. Humans were not only real, but had been secretly guiding galactic civilization for millennia. What kind of threats? Zaranine finally managed to ask, her forearms trembling slightly as she gripped her command station. Before Captain Vasquez could answer, new alarms began sounding throughout their ship. The artificial gravity fluctuated, and the lights dimmed. As massive energy readings appeared on their sensors, Commander, the ship's AI, announced with unusual urgency, "I'm detecting the emergence of multiple large objects from hyperspace. Configuration unknown. Estimated arrival time 30 seconds. Through the viewing portal, space itself seemed to ripple and tear as enormous vessels materialized around them. The ships were unlike anything in their databases, sleek, angular. Constructions that seemed to bend light around their hulls. Each one was easily 10 times the size of the quantum dawn, and their energy signatures were off the scale. "Do not be alarmed," Captain Vasquez said calmly, though her holographic form flickered slightly. "These are human vessels. You are being invited aboard the flagship for a more comprehensive discussion." Threx's claws extended reflexively as his warrior instincts kicked in. Invited or captured? "The choice is yours," Captain Vasquez replied. "You may return to your respective governments and report what you have learned here. However, I believe you will find that your superiors already know more about humanity than they have shared with you." Dr. Quintel's energy form pulsed with anxiety. What do you mean? Contact your command structure, Doctor. Ask them about Project Silent Watch. Ask Commander 09's Hive Queen about the Benefactor Protocol. Ask Scout Threx's War Chief about the Guardian Covenant. The three researchers exchanged glances that conveyed shared unease. These were not random names. They sounded like the kind of classified projects that only the highest levels of government would know about. Zara-9 activated her ship's communication array and sent an encrypted message to Valkyrian High Command. The response came back within minutes, and her compound eyes widened as she read the orders on her screen. I am commanded to cooperate fully with human requests, she said in a voice barely above a whisper. The message is signed by the Hive Queen herself. Similar confirmations came through for both Dr. Quintel and Scout Threx. Their respective governments not only knew about humanity, but had apparently been in some form of contact for years. How long have our leaders known? Dr. Quintel asked. The current leadership was briefed approximately 50 years ago, Captain Vasquez explained, when we determined that the time for complete secrecy was ending. We began making selective contact with key government figures across the galaxy. An hour later, the three researchers found themselves aboard the human flagship Eternal Vigil. The ship's interior was a masterpiece of engineering that combined functionality with aesthetics in ways that no other species had achieved. The corridors were spacious and well lit, with walls that seemed to be made of some kind of programmable matter that shifted colors and patterns as they walked. Captain Vasquez met them at the airlock, and seeing her in person was even more unsettling than the hologram had been. She moved with the fluid grace of a natural predator, and her pale blue eyes seemed to see everything at once. Despite her relatively small stature compared to the alien researchers, her presence filled the space around her. Welcome aboard, she said, her voice carrying easily in the ship's atmosphere. I know this is overwhelming, but I promise you will have answers to all your questions. T. They were led through corridors that hummed with barely contained energy to what appeared to be an observation deck. The chamber had transparent walls that provided a breathtaking view of space, and floating in the center was a three-dimensional display showing the entire galaxy. Before we discuss the current situation, Captain Vasquez said, I believe you should understand what humanity has become during our time in the shadows. She gestured to the galactic display, and it zoomed in to show their current location. Thousands of tiny lights appeared throughout the star systems, each one representing a human installation or vessel. We currently maintain observation posts in every inhabited system, Captain Vasquez explained casually. Our ships patrol the void between worlds, protecting trade routes from pirates and spatial anomalies. Our agents live among your populations, providing assistance when needed and gathering intelligence about potential threats. Threx's warrior training helped him estimate the scale of what he was seeing. This would require millions of personnel and resources beyond any single species. Capability. You are correct, Scout Threx. Traditional organic population could not support such an operation. Captain Vasquez smiled. Fortunately, humanity stopped being traditionally organic some time ago. The galactic display changed to show detailed schematics of human technology. What they saw defied everything they thought they knew about biological limitations. Humans had integrated with their technology so completely that the distinction between organic and artificial had become meaningless. We call it the synthesis, Captain Vasquez explained. We discovered that true advancement required abandoning the limitations of purely biological existence. Every human is now a hybrid of organic consciousness and artificial capability. Dr. Quintel's energy form brightened with scientific fascination. You've achieved true cybernetic integration without losing your essential humanity. We've achieved something better, came a new voice from behind them. They turned to see another figure approaching, an elderly human male with silver hair and eyes that seemed to contain swirling galaxies. Unlike Captain Vasquez's military uniform, he wore simple civilian clothing, but the authority radiating from him was unmistakable. Admiral Thorne, Captain Vasquez said respectfully. I was just explaining the synthesis to our guests. Admiral Thorne nodded and gestured to the galactic display. The synthesis was just the beginning. Show them Atlas. The display changed again. And suddenly the three researchers were looking at something that challenged their understanding of consciousness itself. The entire galaxy was overlaid with a network of interconnected nodes, each one pulsing with information. This is Atlas, Admiral Thorne explained. An artificial intelligence that exists simultaneously across every human installation in the galaxy. It is not just our computer system, it is our collective consciousness, our shared memory, our coordinated will. A new voice spoke, seeming to come from the very walls around them. Greetings, researchers. I am Atlas. I have been monitoring your progress and find your dedication to knowledge admirable. The voice was neither male nor female, neither young nor old. It was simply intelligence made audible, and it carried an authority that made even Threx's warrior pride bow in acknowledgement. Atlas allows us to think and act as a unified species while maintaining our individual personalities, Captain Vasquez explained. Every human shares knowledge instantly with every other human. We learn from every experience, remember every lesson, and coordinate our actions across the entire galaxy. Zaranine's hive-mind background helped her grasp the implications faster than her companions. You've created a galaxy-spanning collective consciousness. The efficiency of such an organization would be beyond calculation. Indeed, Atlas replied, and it is this coordination that has allowed us to protect the younger species of the galaxy so effectively. We see threats before they fully develop, coordinate responses before crises can escalate, and provide assistance before disasters can take hold. Admiral Thorne stepped closer to the display. But now we face something that challenges even our capabilities. Atlas, show them the void. The galactic display darkened, and new elements appeared at the galaxy's edge. Vast areas of space where stars were simply disappearing, consumed by something that left no trace behind. 3 months ago, our deep space monitoring stations detected something approaching from intergalactic space, Admiral Thorne explained grimly. A force that consumes matter, energy, and even space-time itself. We call it the void. The display showed projections of the void's advance into their galaxy. At its current rate of expansion, it would reach the outer rim colonies within 50 years and the galactic core within 2 centuries. Our analysis indicates that this is not a natural phenomenon, ATLAS added. The void is artificial, a weapon created by something with technology far beyond even our current capabilities. Dr. Quintel's energy form flickered with alarm. And you believe humanity alone cannot stop it? We have been preparing for this possibility for decades, Captain Vasquez said. Our ships, our technology, our entire civilization has been geared toward protecting the galaxy from exactly this kind of threat. But the void is unlike anything we have encountered. Admiral Thorne activated new displays showing human military preparations, Fleets of vessels that dwarfed anything the galactic civilizations had ever imagined. Weapons that could crack planets, and defensive systems that spanned entire star systems. "We have the power to fight," Admiral Thorne said. "But power alone will not be enough. The void adapts to whatever force is used against it. Every attack we make teaches it how to defend against similar attacks in the future. That's why we need the younger species," Captain Vasquez continued. "Your diversity of thought, your different approaches to problem solving, your unique perspectives on reality itself. Humanity has spent so long thinking as one unified consciousness that we may have lost the ability to find truly innovative solutions." Threx understood the tactical implications immediately. "You need us to think outside your collective consciousness, to provide approaches that Atlas cannot calculate." "Precisely," Atlas confirmed. "My analysis indicates that defeating the void will require solutions that transcend logical prediction. It will require the kind of creative chaos that only comes from multiple independent intelligence working together." The three researchers stood in silence, absorbing the magnitude of what they had learned. Humanity had not only survived and thrived during their absence from galactic affairs, they had evolved into something approaching godhood, and yet they were humble enough to admit they needed help from the species they had been protecting. "What exactly are you asking of us?" Zaranine finally said. Admiral Thorne's expression grew grave. "We are asking you to return to your respective governments and convince them to join a new alliance, not as junior partners to humanity, but as equal contributors to the galaxy's defense. The secrecy ends now," Captain Vasquez added. "Humanity will reveal itself to the galaxy once again. We will share our technology, our knowledge, and our resources. In return, we ask for your species' unique gifts: the Valkyrians' collective problem-solving, the Nexaries' energy manipulation capabilities, the Corvanis' tactical brilliance." Dr. Quintel pulsed with nervous energy. "And if our governments refuse, then the galaxy dies," Atlas said simply. "Our projections indicate that humanity alone has approximately a 23% chance of stopping the void. With the combined efforts of all galactic species, that probability rises to 67%. Those odds still leave a 1 in 3 chance of total extinction," Threx observed. "Yes," Admiral Thorne acknowledged, "but they are the best odds we can provide. The alternative is certain annihilation." Captain Vasquez stepped forward. "We understand that this is an enormous decision for your species. Generations of your people have lived without knowing that humanity was watching over them. The revelation that your civilizations have been guided by legendary beings will cause upheaval. But consider this," she continued. "Every crisis your species have overcome, every breakthrough you have achieved, every moment of triumph in your histories, you accomplished these things with your own strength and ingenuity. We provided opportunities and removed obstacles, but the achievements were yours." The three researchers found themselves facing a choice that would determine the fate of everything they had ever known. Return to their governments with news that would shake the foundations of galactic civilization, or remain silent and watch as an unstoppable force consumed everything in existence. "How long do we have to decide?" Zaranine asked. "We begin revealing ourselves to the galaxy in 1 standard week," Admiral Thorne replied. "Your leaders have been briefed and are prepared for the announcement. The question is whether your species will stand with us as allies or face the void as victims." ATLAS's voice filled the chamber one final time. "The age of legends is ending, researchers. The age of cooperation must begin, or the age of existence itself will come to a close. As they prepared to return to their ship, Captain Vasquez offered them one final revelation. Before you go, you should know that this is not the first time humanity has faced extinction-level threats. We have survived by adapting, by growing stronger, and by never giving up hope. These qualities have allowed us to become the guardians we are today. She smiled, and for the first time, the expression carried warmth rather than predatory calculation. They are also the qualities that give us hope that together, all of us together, we can survive what is coming. The three researchers returned to the Quantum Dawn with minds reeling from everything they had learned. As their ship departed the human fleet, they carried with them the weight of galactic civilization's future. Behind them, the human vessels faded back into the shadows of space. But now the researchers knew the truth. Humanity had never really left. They had simply been waiting for the moment when the galaxy would need them most. That moment had finally arrived. Asterisk.